Okay, so this is making breakfast. There is a sheet on this door that talks through it, so I'm going to do this quite quickly. So things you need to get out. You need to get out a beaker and the NutriBullet blade. You need a spatula. You need a tray. Although that's a dirty tray, so let's get a clean tray. And then we need, out of this cupboard, we need the pot we're going to put it in. We need our flush pot, syringe and feeding tube. I think you normally need about 2 or 3 pieces of kitchen roll. Let's get 3 just in case. Pop those on the tray ready. Out of the fridge, we need cranberry juice and milk and grapes. Pop them over there. And then out of this cupboard, we also need Weetabix. If any of these supplies are getting low, you've got spare cranberry juice in there. Normally we're quite good at keeping it topped up, but if something's missing, come and ask one of us. We're normally around in the mornings. So the first thing that we want to do is measure things out. So 8 ounces is exactly the same as 250 mils of milk. So you can just use the 8 ounces here because it's a better point of measure. Ooh, just like with milk. So we start with the milk, then we add the Weetabix. This pack of Weetabix are really crumbly, so if you get a packet of crumbly ones, you can see I've lost half of that. Make sure you get all the bits going in. If, as it did the other day when I made it, you get Weetabix all over the floor, there is a dustpan and brush in the bottom cupboard, so just clear up after yourself. If Beth has one day where she has a bit less Weetabix and one day where she has a bit more, it's not the end of the world. So that's the first things. The next thing we're going to do is add the grapes to that. So we want to have a handful of grapes. So pull off as many grapes as fills your hand. So we've all got different sizes hands. So I'm going to show you what I mean when I say a handful. It's not just a few in the middle, it really is a full hand. So that's a handful of grapes, something like that. And then I'm going to take these off. Pop them all in here. Make sure I don't get stalks. And when we come to blitzing this up, I'm going to put the lid on and secure it on, and I'm going to press and hold it for 15 seconds. So count to 15 in your head, take it off, give it a little shake, and then do 15 seconds again. So the reason we do it that long is we want to make sure all those grape skins get broken down, otherwise they will get stuck in the peg. So this, when you screw it on, doesn't always go on straight the first time. So screw it on tightly, and we're going to do this. So you ready? Be noisy. Now, because we're not giving the Weetabix lots of time to absorb the moisture, it will thicken. So in a minute we need to make sure we scrape it out. And when we get to the end of giving it, we need to make sure it will thicken at the bottom. And you'll probably need to add some flush into it. So we're just going to do it again. And then what we're going to do, you could give it out of here, but actually it's a little bit deep to get your hands in with the syringe, so we're suggesting people pour it into this beaker. Now, just in terms of washing things up, give that a little rinse off straight away so it doesn't get stuck. I'm going to show you what we're going to start doing with this in a second. So the last thing we need to do is get the flush ready. We want about 50 mils of water. It doesn't matter if it's more, just don't make it less. And then add to that 50 mils of cranberry juice. Again, doesn't matter if it's a bit more. So as long as it's got somewhere between 100 and 150 of flush, that's your flush ready. So the final thing is just making sure we tidied up. So someone has actually washed up the feeding tubes from last night, but what I would suggest is, because it takes a long time to pull the hot water through, once you've just done this, start the hot water coming through, And just give this a quick rinse so there's no Weetabix in it. It's not getting so slowly. Make sure there's no bits down it. And once this water is starting to get warm, we're then going to run some water. Right, that's getting warm now. I'm popping the plug in. I'm going to run some hot water. And what I'm going to do is throw that into the hot water, and I'm not going to leave this in the hot water and dunk it, but I am going to use some soapy water to make sure it's all clean and give it a rinse off. So if you do that straight away, we won't end up with Weetabix glued on. Let that water run. Let that water run, and then once we've got, it's a big bowl, you don't need to fill it up, but enough to do some washing up in. We'll leave that, and what you would normally do then is put the med tubes from the night into the water, and then when you've dished up breakfast, you'll come and you can wash all that up at the same time. So one lot of hot water. I am also at the same time just going to rinse this out. So if you've got things to recycle, whether it's this or the grape cartons, the grape cartons don't need washing out, but just make sure that go in the recycling. I will empty that. Things into the bin. Enough water. And then everything back into the fridge if not needed. I'm just going to wipe up. I've got some Weetabix. Oh, I think that's Weetabix from another day. What I didn't do is actually scrape out the tub because I got it out pretty quickly. But if you feel like there's a bit of residue of Weetabix in the bottom, then you can use it to wipe out. That's making breakfast.